September 13th, live on Netflix. #1 fighter in the world.
What's your name?
Pound for pound, Terence Crawford. He going for 42-0.
Where's he from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Height and weight.
You understand?
Who's he going against? Let's take him down.
Alvarez, Canelo.
Oh my God, he's
Canelo.
serious, bro. Good luck.
You heard?
You're the man.
You heard? He make his own luck. Look at this hard work. It ain't no magic. It's hard work. That's hard work.
Terence Crawford said ain't nothing stopping him ahead of this fight with Canelo Alvarez.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up.
Canelo Alvarez seemingly had just really started camp. We haven't seen too much footage of Canelo Alvarez in his preparation to this showdown with Terence Bud Crawford, but there's been a lot of things that's been said in the boxing community. Robert Garcia comes out, and of course he said that he thinks Crawford's going to win, and
doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. We've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same again, Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there, in not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
He was 15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed.
And after hearing what he had to say about Canelo Alvarez and his reluctance on knocking guys out, he pretty much gave Canelo the excuse that he's getting older and he's just kind of trying to save himself and just coasting through. And he gave Canelo a lot of grace and a lot of excuses, if I'm honest, as to why he hasn't been stopping his more recent opponents. I mean, he's not lying, right? Robert Garcia's not lying. He's not, but he don't want to be too hard on him. That's what it sounds like to me. Like he didn't necessarily want to be too hard on the fact that Canelo is passing his prime, that Canelo is slow now. He's slow, right?
Canelo looked elite against Billy Joe Saunders, but Saunders exposed the flaw. Canelo struggles with rhythm, movement, and fluidity. Then came Caleb Plant, slick, yes, but untested. Canelo walked him down and got the finish. But Bivol wasn't like the others. He controlled range, stayed disciplined, and kept the pace high. Canelo looked lost, flat-footed, one pace, frustrated. Then back to Triple G, John Ryder. Flat-footed, forward styles. Suddenly Canelo looked sharp again, because it's not form, it's opponents. Now enters Terence Crawford, not just slick, he's surgical. He controls space like Bivol, but with better timing and switch hitting. If Bivol could shut Canelo down over 12, Crawford might not even let him start.
And of course, we got a lot more people picking Terence Bud Crawford. People that originally had Canelo Alvarez winning the fight. A lot of people that originally didn't really want Terence Crawford going anywhere near Canelo Alvarez. Now, check out what they got to say.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up. The biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always
You gotta
ready.
give
He's
him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's going to knock him out.
After hearing what Stephen A. Smith had to say with Andre S.O.G. Ward, Stephen A. Smith knows a little bit about boxing. He said that Crawford could outpoint Canelo Alvarez. Good jab, fast feet. Canelo's slow. And yeah, this is one of the things that I said, man. The speed is going to be, if Crawford's speed is there, it's going to be a really, really tough fight for Canelo. Really, really tough fight. Not to mention, apparently not to mention Crawford is likely having a really good camp. Ain't nothing stopping me, right? He's been really feeling himself in this camp. He probably feels really good because he don't got to cut weight. Another thing that was on point from Stephen A. Smith was that Canelo throws everything hard, right? And he just throws everything hard. And one thing that I always say, you guys hear me say, Canelo don't really throw jabs like that. You just see the big hook, the big bombs coming, the big shot coming. You know, you don't really see nothing that was kind of set up, and, you know, he don't really change up the tempo, the speed of his punches anymore. Canelo don't really do a lot of the crafty things that he was doing back when he was fighting guys like Gennady Golovkin and things like that. Lately, it's just been the big bomb, right? And a guy like Terence Crawford will see that big bomb coming a mile away. We've been seeing a lot of footage of Terence Crawford since this thing got started. It seemed like they're already in full-blown camp, going up to Colorado, up the mountains and all that stuff. They're doing all this stuff already. I wonder if Canelo Alvarez is doing something equal to what Terence Crawford is doing, because Terence Crawford seemed to be really motivated and determined in this fight, right? So how is Canelo's hunger going into this thing? This is also something that I mentioned. How is this dude's hunger going into this fight with Terence Crawford? Is Canelo as hungry, right? Is Canelo as hungry as he should be going into a fight of this magnitude? Going into a fight where this dude could arguably be his toughest opponent since Floyd Mayweather, right? The thing for Canelo, though, I'm not saying that he's going to come underprepared. Canelo always comes ready, right? He always comes ready. He always comes in shape. But is he going to do anything different this go around for Terence Crawford? To deal with the fact of this guy being a switch-hitting fighter, right? What is he going to do to offset that? What is he going to do to counter Terence Crawford's counter-punching capabilities? If Terence Crawford decides to switch to southpaw stance early on, are you prepared for that? If Terence Crawford decides to come out orthodox and then eventually switch to southpaw, are you ready for that? Are you going to be ready for that is the question, right? And this all aligns to what things like Robert Garcia was saying. Canelo Alvarez has kind of been coasting by. And if you've been on that autopilot mode for a certain period of time, man, it's going to be kind of hard to shake it. It's going to be kind of hard to break out of that. It's going to be kind of hard to break out of the autopilot mode. But maybe this type of fight get Canelo Alvarez excited. Maybe this will spark a fire that hasn't been sparked in quite some time for Saul Canelo Alvarez. Because let's look at his last few fights, man. He's been coasting. And this is something that I've been publicly saying when it wasn't popular to say it. Not everybody want to come out and say it, but I've been saying it while it was happening in 4K. But it wasn't too popular to say it back then, right? Everybody just kind of overlooked, and they was too impressed by the glitz and the glamour and the show and, you know, everything Canelo do and is great. And, you know, not taking off the Canelo Alvarez shades and realizing, like, man, he kind of slowing down a little bit. Yeah, he ain't as active as he used to be. Yeah, it's been like this for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Now people just not starting to see it. Robert Garcia been seeing it. But he's also very loyal to his Mexican heritage. He's not going to say too much now, right? He said some things, but he's not going to say too much. But a lot of people picking Bud, man. They think Canelo's going to get outpointed. You heard Stephen A. Smith. I think his boxing knowledge has increased over the years, right? We got to give credit where it's due. Stephen A. Smith seems to know a little bit more about boxing than he did before, some years ago, when he really first started talking about it publicly. I think I can't disagree with what he said. Not just because I already got Crawford winning the fight, but he's right. You know, Canelo, the speed. The speed is one of the main things for me as well, the speed. If Crawford has his speed at 168 pounds, it's going to be a really, really tough fight for Canelo Alvarez, because Terence Crawford is a thinking fighter as well, and he actually likes to fight too, so he's going to come with the intentions to hurt you. So Canelo got to get some fire sparked up under him. I don't think Canelo has that fire sparked up under him that he's going to need to really get going in this fight. Not to mention Canelo Alvarez is the richest fighter in boxing, so you know he's been in silk sheets for quite a long time. But yeah, you guys, Terence Bud Crawford says ain't nothing stopping him going into this camp with Canelo Alvarez, and Robert Garcia says that Canelo Alvarez is just trying to save himself because he don't got that much time left. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.